Hi, my name is Sheri Summers, and I'm an American accent trainer. I've worked with people from all over the world, both in person and by internet. Some people have even jokingly referred to me as the pronunciation queen because I have a way of explaining pronunciation that a lot of people just get. If you learned English as a teenager or an adult, or if you know someone who would like to improve the way they sound in English, then this message is for you. You see, I started teaching English many years ago, and one thing I noticed was even though people learned a lot of reading, writing, grammar, and conversation skills, very few people learned how to sound good in English. Many people, including English teachers, have never even thought of pronunciation or accent as being an important part of their language courses. But when these same people, the ones who learned English, get into everyday life with native English speakers, they often become aware of a big gap they have in their communication. Now, I'm not one to say that there's anything wrong with having a foreign accent. In fact, I think accents are great. They're just indications of our roots. The truth is, a foreign accent occurs in everyone who learns a language after childhood. It happens naturally because we automatically transfer the sounds and rhythms of our native language into the second language. Well, this is really not a problem unless other people don't understand you well or you feel like you don't fit in because of your accent. In fact, the driving force behind my getting into accent training was to help people like you feel comfortable communicating in English. People have actually told me things like, "People treat me like I'm stupid just because I have an accent." And, "My boss told me that even though I was qualified for the promotion, I didn't get it because of my strong accent." Or, "I was talking to someone on the phone the other day and he just said, 'I can't understand you,' and hung up." Wow, that's pretty tough stuff. I meet highly intelligent, educated, wonderful people every day who feel like they're out of the loop just because of the way they speak. I know it's not really fair, but if this is you, there is something you can do about it. The last several years of my life have been dedicated to helping people overcome some of the barriers of pronunciation and accent. I've recently put my top programs together in a new online American accent course at a price that almost anyone can afford. I'll tell you a little bit more about the cost in a little bit. Right now, let me tell you how it works. We'll be working through a combination of audios, videos, and live conference calls. To speak English with an American accent, you need several things. First, you need to understand how American intonation works. I call this the music of the language. Every language has a different sound. It's like thinking of the differences between jazz, classical, and hip-hop music. They're all music, but they each have a different feeling, a different rhythm, and a different sound structure. Well, language is like that too. Each one has a different rhythm and style. So, using a Spanish style or a Chinese style or a Russian style in English may still make you understood, but it has a very different feeling. You know what I mean when you think of American people speaking your native language with a strong American style, right? You may be able to understand them okay, but it makes your language sound kind of foreign, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly how foreign accents happen. They're just because we transfer all of the sounds and styles of our native language into the new language. In my American accent course, I'm going to teach you some things that are really going to open your eyes, or should I say open your ears. You're going to learn and feel this style of American rhythms, ups and downs, pauses, and variations of speed that make up the American accent. I promise you that you've never even heard of most of these things before, and that they are going to supercharge the way you speak English. We're going to move step by step over a period of 24 weeks, going from little details to big conversations. Each week, I'll give you a new audio that will break English down into little pieces and build it back up again so you get a full understanding of intonation, rhythm, and timing. The second thing that we're going to work on is pronunciation. If intonation is the music of the language, then pronunciation is the notes. These are the sounds like the ah in father or the ch in children. I'm sure you've noticed that you can't rely on English spelling for pronunciation. Did you know that even though there are 5 vowels in English, there are 15 vowel sounds? In the American Accent course, I'm going to teach you how to pronounce each sound of English. We're going to start with the vowel sounds, move on to the consonant sounds, and then talk about blending things together. I'm not a big believer of the simple listen and repeat method because when you learn another language as an adult, you often don't hear new sounds as they're really being pronounced. We tend to substitute sounds from our native language into the new language. So, I'm not only going to help you hear the difference between the sounds, I'm going to show you how they feel, so you won't have to wonder if you're doing things correctly. So each week you'll be receiving a new video lesson that demonstrates how each sound is made. You can participate as if you were attending the class. I'm also going to give you a series of exercises after each lesson so you can practice and perfect your pronunciation. Once you've completed the weekly intonation and pronunciation sections of the course, you can take a short quiz to make sure you're on track. Now, the third and very important part of getting an American accent is through receiving live personal feedback on how you're doing. Each week, for the duration of your course, you will have the opportunity to call into a live online help session where you can talk to me or another American accent trainer personally to find out how you're doing. You can ask questions, you can find out how you're sounding, and you can listen to the advice given to other people in the small group. And believe me, this is really beneficial. Getting live feedback gives you a huge advantage over learning from a book, a CD, or software because you will know where your mistakes are, and you will find out how to correct them. So again, here are the 3 main parts of the American Accent course. 24 weeks of audios covering intonation, rhythm, and timing, 24 weeks of videos covering all of the sounds of English, and 24 weeks of live online sessions so you can stay on track. Your course also contains exercises, quizzes, and optional private help to make sure you receive the maximum amount of learning possible. Now, to answer any potential questions you may have. You may wonder where you have to go to take this class. Well, the American Accent course is completely online, so you can take it from anywhere in the world. You don't have to travel anywhere, you don't have to wait for something to arrive in the mail, you don't have to take time away from work or school. You can even come to class in your pajamas if you like. You may be thinking that 24 weeks is a long time to take a class. Well, it is and it isn't. I used to teach 2-week boot camp seminars where people would come and pack their brains with everything they needed to know about accent. It was pretty cool, except for one thing. They really didn't change the way they spoke. You need time to gradually learn and get used to speaking with a new accent. 6 months is actually a very good amount of time to do this. You may think that there's too much work involved. Well, just like learning a new language, you must put in some time and effort, but if you take it a step at a time like I'm going to show you, it's very manageable. You may wonder what happens if you decide to take some time off or go on vacation. No need to worry about that. I'll give you a new training package every week for 6 months, but you can do it at your leisure. If you need to take more time to go over everything, you can. In fact, the American Accent course will be yours to keep, so even if you want to come back for a review in 5 years, you can do it. You may wonder if your English is good enough to take this course. Well, the entire program is taught in English, So you'll need to have at least a high intermediate level of English to take the program. So if you use English for everyday life, you should be just fine. You may wonder if this program is for certain languages or certain groups. The American Accent course was designed for people who learned English as teenagers or adults. It doesn't matter what your native language is. Many people who use it are professionals in all kinds of careers or university students. And of course, you may wonder what the cost will be. Well, before I tell you that, let me tell you that most accent trainers charge between $100 and $200 an hour. So a 50-hour course could cost you up to $10,000. But don't worry, the American Accent course is nothing near that. Businesses pay $2,500 for each employee who takes the American Accent course. But I'm not as interested in helping big business as I am in helping individuals. So I could go ahead and give you a 50% discount. Well, this is a fantastic offer. You'd get 6 months of training for just $1,250. That would only be around $200 a month, and believe me, it would be more than worth it. But the truth is, I want to make it extremely easy for you to make the decision to improve the way you speak English. I want to see you feel more comfortable when you speak. I want people to understand you well. I want you to become more successful at work. I want you to feel like you fit in to life around you. Actually, your success in English is my success. So instead of charging you $2,500, I'm going to discount that price. In fact, I'm going to discount that price by 90%. Right now, the intonation training, the pronunciation training, and the live classes are just 10% of the original cost. But wait, in fact, I want to make it even easier for you. I want you to make sure that the American Accent course is right for you. So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to try it out for just $4.95. You can try it for 10 full days and see how it's set up and how you'll be learning. You'll have a chance to delve into both week 1 and week 2 and to be able to go through a ton of training. You'll even have a chance to attend my live Q&A help sessions. And then if you decide that you would like to continue in the course, you'll be charged just $39 a month for 6 months, and that's it. After the 6 months are over, you can come back to the American Accent course for as long as you like. But here's a warning. I'm not going to keep the course at this price forever. I will soon be raising the price to become, well, more reasonable. So if you are ready to learn an American accent, you can lock your price in right now, and I guarantee you that it will never go up for you. Just click on the Add to Cart button below and get started for just $4.95. You have nothing to lose, well, except for your accent. So go ahead and click on that Add to Cart button below, and I'll see you on the other side. I can't wait to see the changes that are coming for you.